Yeah.
Way, we are live. We're only 2 minutes late tonight. Sorry, guys. Paranormal Mondays. Hopefully, brighten up your week a little bit. If not, you can watch it on record. And but thanks for joining us live. We've got 3 people watching. We've got Julia down the bottom, Power Nation, myself, South Coast Ghost, and Paul from Host the Ghost. And we have Tim's got feedback.
Where's that coming from?
Turn the sound down, Tim, on the other. Yeah, if you turn the sound down on the other one, mate, because you've got 2 browsers open or 2 computers. Yeah?
It's bleeding over, isn't it?
Yeah. No, that's it, mate. You've got it. You've got it. But no, Tim's pretty new to the paranormal world.
What's that?
Tonight he's going to give us a little talk on what he's really passionate about, what got him into it, and a few experiences. Tim is part of the UK British Research Bigfoot research team. He's joined us through that, but he's quite passionate about paranormal and the UFOs. What most people call paranormal spirits, obviously. Yeah. But couple of good evening, Emma. Great for you to join us, love. Thanks ever
Hi,
so
Emma.
much.
Good evening. Welcome.
Really good to have you. Thank you. But to start off with, I'm going to just mention a sad event, a really sad event. I'm sure paranormal people watching this will be aware that a very good. Hi, Christine. Good evening, love. Thank you.
Hi, Christine.
Evening, Mark. Good
Mark.
on you. Thank you so much for coming along again.
Welcome.
See you all. Daniel says he'll join us in a bit. Yeah. But no, a real nice gentleman and a really good investigator. Ghost Chasers on YouTube, Scott Lee Bowler. Unfortunately, has left this plane for the next. He's passed on. Scott was a good friend of mine. We've met a few times. I was supposed to be going down to meet him, but he was too ill. He's been too ill the last few months. And sad to say that the last time I saw him was quite a while back because of that. So, Ghost Trackers, I don't know what's going to happen with the YouTube channel, but I've been given good news that somebody is looking after his Facebook and his channel for him. I'm sure anybody that Scott trusted is quite adequately capable of it, and he's trustworthy to do so. So my love goes out to all Scott's family and friends tonight. I'm sure all of us does do here tonight. And I would have cancelled the show, but Scott wouldn't have wanted it. Scott would have wanted to be here, and if he's there, which I'm sure he is, he'll be watching us now. So good on you, Scott. Love you to death, mate. And shame you're not here no more. Anyway, that's the bad side of it. I know I'm a paranormal researcher, but I don't do good with the afterlife in that way, losing people. So I'm too much of a soft git, as Mark will tell you. We have an upcoming investigation coming up this weekend, Julie, don't we? Or Simon?
Simon does, yeah. Yeah, it's our first ever visit, and it's an old Victorian police station down in Petersfield, and we've never been there before, and we've got this great opportunity to go and see what activities there. So one to look forward to for this weekend.
Yeah, it's a proper museum as well with artifacts in as well. So we find that generally around buildings of such, we get a lot of residual and attachments to any equipment or anything that's been donated or anything in the museum of any age or periods, such as Brighton police cells, where they've scratched their names and drawn their names, somewhere we haven't visited for a while, actually. Brighton police cells.
Maybe a weekend, sort of like, make it sort of like a weekend of it and stay. It's not. I don't think it's too far from people, is it? Really?
No, Brighton's fine. I mean, it's only sort of 50 minutes from me here. So
I've done it before, but it was a long time ago. So it
Yeah,
would
I've
be,
done it.
it would be good to go back.
Yeah, I've done
yeah,
it a couple of times with Surrey Paranormal. It could be that something you integrate into the Brighton Lanes ghost tour and the
just
Brighton
going to
police
say that.
tells. Yeah,
An idea.
Yeah, yeah,
Good
yeah.
so you
idea.
can do the two together sort of thing, or
Yeah,
one day, one the next sort of thing. Yeah.
yeah. And I got a lot of yes, Mark. Okay, well, that's Mark saying he will come if it's the winter because it's warm, I believe. So
Yeah.
good call, Mark. That one, mate. Good call. Fort Widley. Oh, Brighton police cells I can live with, mate. Yeah. And do you know what? I think you're right there, mate, as well, because you get a lot more people turn up if it's a warm, heated venue in the winter time. I remember last time, I think it was January, and I rode my motorbike back. And it went from +6 degrees to -6 degrees. And I was bloody frozen. Let's put it that way. I really was. And guess what? The A27 was closed on the way back, so I had to divert around the country roads. That wasn't much. I wish I'd had the car that night. I'm telling you. Anyway, so that's the police cells coming up. Police Museum at Petersfield coming up this weekend. I think there's a couple of places left, but like all our events, they sell out pretty quick.
Yeah, it has just sold out. It sold out recently, so we are up to our numbers on that, up to our head count. So yeah, we're totally sold out for this weekend.
Right, we're sold
Great
out now.
news.
Sold out, yeah.
That's good.
So if you want to get in on any of the events, try booking up early because we are selling out now within 24, 48 hours. So
And there is we do offer deposits on a lot of the events as well, so that makes everything a little bit more affordable.
secure your
Is that
place.
Coronation UK events? Is that the site?
Paranation.co.uk.
That's it. Yeah.
That's the one, Tim.
Okay.
Yeah, he's thinking of the Facebook page, aren't you? The
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
Yeah.
There's also a website, mate, paranation.co.uk.
Yeah, I saw that. Yeah, I
Yeah.
just wondered if that was the Facebook page that it was where all the events were shown.
Yeah. Again, there was another nice paranormal person that decided to copy a website. So hence why you've got a couple of
Right.
pages,
Okay.
Paranation events. Unfortunately, you do get it in this world, guys, don't you?
Yeah.
I don't know why. I don't know why. But all I can think of is they're so lame on investigating, they have to go and disrupt other people's lives. I don't know, but anyway, Tim.
I don't think they're active though, are they? That's quite an old thing, but
Well, yeah, I mean, they unfortunately they keep popping up, don't they? New ones, and it's just something about the paranormal world. We're not weird, but everybody else, no.
it's because we're so good. It's because we're so good. That's why they copy us.
Well, I think we do okay. I think we do okay.
We do all right, don't we? We do all right.
I've been looking at your videos on YouTube. It's amazing what's happening there.
Cheers, Tim. Thanks, mate.
Wow.
Everything I've got another 3 videos to make through health or whatever lately. I've just not had the inspiration, mate. Yeah. Because videos take a lot of time to make and whatever. Because everything in our videos, or everything I make a video out of for all of us, is 100%. You can't sort of like dismiss evidence. Yeah. I go through it. I mean, if you watch
hours.
you can see it, can't you? You can see it.
Yeah.
And I mean, the table tapping. Yeah. I mean, Julia was there the couple of weeks before we were there, and she got exactly the same thing as we did. So that's the consistency on that. We've never had the table tap in there before or afterwards. That was Waverley Abbey. So that's a consistent event, you know, 2 different teams getting it. And Waverley Abbey never ceases to amaze. Never ceases to amaze.
That's Surrey, isn't it?
Yes, yeah.
Yeah.
Farnham, yeah.
Yeah.
If you're ever down this way, you want to go, give us a shout, mate, and we'll arrange something to all meet you up there. And,
Well, my stepson was stationed at the base at Farnham.
all right,
His
okay.
naval base. Yeah.
Right,
Actually,
okay.
he's looking at buying a house down that way.
Is he?
Yeah.
Fantastic, fantastic. Free
He's in the
B&B,
Falklands
mate.
at the moment, so
Free
he's in the
B&B.
Falklands, but
Oh, man. Yeah. So somewhere that's a hit or a miss then.
yeah.
Yeah. Say no more. Anyway, Tim is part of the UK British Bigfoot research team.
So it's my door, sorry.
Which he applied to come on board with us, which is great, because I'm sure he'll be a valued member to the team in more ways than one. He is here tonight, but he's got distinct interest in certain areas. I think the same with me in his Bigfoot in the UK, because that's how I started out on the Bigfoot thing. And secondly, I think his UFOs, again like us,
Definitely.
all
I'll
these
be
like.
back to come up to my door. Sorry. See you in a
Got
bit.
someone at the door?
Yeah,
Oh, there's more important than
my
we
friends
are.
just got round. Sorry.
Right. Hi, Paula. Good for you.
Hi,
Thanks for
Paula.
joining us.
Welcome.
I
Welcome.
did send William the link in an email to come on if you want to come on. All right. So good to have you on, though. Really good to have you on. And tell Justin you better get on as well. And but I mean, we've had an unprecedented amount of lights in the sky just recently. Evening, Justin. Hope the vaping's going all right, mate. And I've got Justin on vaping. Too much information.
That's not good.
And yeah, I got Justin on vaping. We went downtown. I took him into my vape shop on Saturday. And of course, when you vape, you suck in, you blow out. Well, he's used to heated tobacco and smoking beforehand, so inhaling. So this is mouth to lung. It goes straight to your lung. You just put it in your mouth, lungs, boom, out. Oh, William's going to love you.
I bet they're a good tool for you know, for looking for evidence around with all the smoke, are they?
We'll tell you about that in a minute, mate. That
Yeah,
is-
we'll
Yeah.
tell you how. We'll tell
Because
you how.
some of them have loads of smoke, don't they?
yeah,
We'll tell you our. We'll tell you our story on that.
yeah.
I think that'll blow you away.
Anyway, he, everybody that starts vaping always inhales a little bit because it's just something we do as a smoker, innit? And basically, he 55 watts. Yeah. Oh, and he's standing outside Powell and he's gone, are my eyes still glazed? Oh, it was so funny. But no, I'll let Paul tell you about the vape that we've used.
We went to
Oh,
we went to a secret location we were invited to, Tim, and it was a spectacular place. Absolutely, we can't mention it because it's quite a secret place, but it was absolutely immense. This place.
Yeah.
I set up a lot of equipment in opposite places to where we were on one side, and we were on the opposite side of the building, and we could hear the equipment going off, and I caught children on the EVPs laughing and joking and all sorts of things. And I set a laser grid going at the end of this corridor. And we're standing there, and my partner, who's a psychic, a medium, they were on the table with Julia and a couple of others, and the table was going really well. So they were getting really, and they said, "Are you in this corridor with us?" And it was like, "Yes."
Wow.
And then in the laser grid, we kept saying to Darren that something's going on. Something's going on in them lights, but we couldn't really fathom it out. And then Darren blew like a load of vape. And as the vape started to move across the lights, it stopped in the shadow of someone standing there, didn't it, Darren? We all looked and went, what? We sort of looked, it went, why is the smoke stopped? It's not carried on out of the room. And
I see what you mean, yeah. It's like as if in a brick wall.
Yeah, it just suddenly stopped, and you could see what looked like an outline of someone in, but we couldn't physically see it by eye, but you could see the outline in the vape. So Darren kept vaping.
Wow.
Luke Gosling as well, yeah.
Started puffing so we could try and fill the lights with the vape, but eventually it disappeared. But that's what led us to think about buying a vortex machine. You know that you have a vortex or the spinning disc, and then you fire the smoke into the disc, and it invites spirit to stick their head through the smoke and the fog. So we're looking at maybe getting one of them for another investigation. I've been looking. I've got a couple of ones reserved, but it's looking at a mobile smoke machine, a battery operated smoke machine.
Yeah,
because obviously where you go, there's not always electricity, so you need a chargeable smoke machine. The pellets are cheap enough. You know, I've researched into it for a long time, but I have messaged someone that does battery operated or rechargeable smoke machines. So I am waiting for them to come back with a price. So if we could get a mobile smoke machine, I mean, we could take it anywhere, anytime, to any investigation and fire up a vortex and see whether we can. But what we saw that night was absolutely amazing, wasn't it, Darren?
Mate. It was
unbelievable.
You had to be there to believe it, mate.
Yeah.
It was absolutely out of this world. I mean, we weren't the only two people there. There was about 8 of us.
Yeah.
And it was like 9, 10 of us, yeah. And just a private little team. Basically, I was invited in by a friend of mine who's a friend of the caretaker. And I said to Paul, I said, can you get down? He went, oh, what? I went, you don't want to miss this. It's absolutely superb. And I said to Julia, you have to get down, yeah? Oh, I said, no, you have to get down here, yeah? Well, how much is it? I said, no, it's ours, yeah? And it is an exclusive. And we're trying to get back in. We will get back in.
Yeah,
but, hence why we can't name it. It's a fort, yeah?
It literally is exclusive.
It's really, really, really scary, mate. The minute you go in there, it's a circular fort, and the minute you go through the door, you've got a doorway there and a doorway there, and you can see people left to right.
Yeah. You can hear conversations, can't you?
Yeah, and it's like, who's down there, yeah? And I mean, this is actually secure naval property, yeah? You cannot get in there unless you've got a photo ID.
Yeah.
And there's nobody in there, and you wander around, swear blind there's somebody there, and you go, oh, there's nothing in there. You turn around and go, and somebody will go, don't leave, or whatever, or something will rush you. But
we were standing there, sort of watching the lights, and we could hear what sounded like horses coming.
Yep.
Which they would have pulled the cannons and that around the fort with. It's just mind blowing, wasn't it, Darren?
Absolutely.
Every which way we went. And say, when I played back the EVP from there, there's children laughing, singing a tune on there, and we were on the opposite side. You could hear the machine go beep 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 all the time, and nobody's there because we're all round one side.
It's just absolutely mind blowing. Absolutely mind blowing. Just like
a great night.
Wow.
It was a very privileged thing to do. You know, to be invited to do that.
Yeah. I mean, as soon as things are sorted, my health as well, because I'm.
Yeah.
Oh, I haven't been to bed for the last 9 nights, so.
How do you wind down from something like that when you get back home?
Well, we travelled 2 hours home back to Surrey after that. Like, we all sort of stood after the night we came out into the car park and stood and looked at each other, but didn't say anything, did we?
Yeah.
We're just going, oh my God, we can't wait to look at the footage. listened to the recordings, and all the way back to Surrey, like 2 and a bit hours from there. Me and my partner were going, "Oh my god, what have we just been part of?" And literally, wasn't it, Darren? It was just mind blowing. Absolutely, full contact as soon as we got there, wasn't it? As soon as we walked through the doors, down the tunnels, you could hear conversations, you could hear women. You thought you saw people cross past you, and then of course we saw what in the vortex, in the smoke bit, and that to me was the holy grail, because to see that, and literally you could see the laser light, so we couldn't see anything there, but as soon as the smoke got to it, there it was.
Yeah.
There it was.
I guess it'd be more used to indoors than outdoors, would it?
I imagine you could use it if it's a very still night.
Depends how still it was.
Yeah. I mean, you could always shield it, couldn't you?
Yeah.
Put some sort of shield around it and run the vortex. So say I've got my eye on, and I've contacted these people to get a rechargeable smoke machine, because in that case, they do. You can get plug-in electric ones, but if you're in the middle of somewhere, or a location that's got no electricity, how do you use it?
Well, if it depends on the wattage of the machine. I'll have a look at the wattage of them, because obviously it's 240, but it doesn't run on 240. It's probably got a reducer inside, so it only runs off like 12 volts anyway.
Yeah.
You would be able to go into the machine and just wire a 12-volt battery by a fuse, whatever amperage it is, straight into the machine. Or you just get an inverter and run it off of a 12-volt battery.
Well, I did wonder about a power pack, running in a power pack.
Yeah, the trouble is, power packs only normally give out like 2.1 to 5 volts, 2.1 amps. Yeah. So it'll be much higher ampage than that. Yeah. But you'd need a 50 AH battery or something like that. Well, I'm just about to order another 100 AH lithium-ion LiFePO4 battery for the camper. I've already got one in there now. So you can run them down to 90%. But if it runs off like 20 watts, say, which I can't see anymore, what you're going to use 1.5 amps an hour, 2 amps, let's say 2 amps, 2 amp AH. So you're going to use 20 AH in 10 hours. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So you would, a 50 AH battery would last you 24 hours.
You wouldn't have it continuously running, would you? You'd have bursts of it, wouldn't you? When the activity starts to go. When you've got the activity going, you could run it, and when it's not, you could just back it off, can't you? So you get a little bit more extended time. But what we saw that night, it was just, I don't know how to explain it, to be honest.
I'll have a look to see what wattage these machines are. And all you need basically, because the battery's about 300 quid, but I've got one in the camper anyway. So, I can take that out of the camper, put it on a little trolley, put the machine on a trolley, strap it all on with an inverter, and just tow it down to Waverley Abbey with us.
Because I can get batteries through work, because we use a lot of stop-start technology batteries. The glass
they're
mat.
AGM now, aren't they?
Yeah, but they're the stop-start ones are designed to go flat and recharge.
Yes and no, only to about 50%. AGM are better than lead acid, but they do work on the same sort of thing. They haven't got so much. The only ones you'll get that will go flat and revive themselves thousands of times is LiFePO4, and I hate saying that because I hate lithium-ion. I hate it. Even Luke.
But they're like leisure batteries, aren't they? Where they're designed to go flat and recharge.
Leisure batteries, after you've been, leisure batteries, depth of charge is only 50%. So if you've got a 100 AH battery, you can only go down to 50 AH, and then you'll only have around about 300, 400 cycles, and your battery's dead. AGM is for stop-start. But on a car, As soon as you stop it, it starts again. You're charging it, yeah. On a leisure battery, when you're taking it off the charger, you're using it for a really prolonged time, prolonged time, without any charge going into it whatsoever. I have literally got through. If you're going to get a battery for your caravan, Paul, ever in the future, go Life Pro 4, mate. You will not regret it.
Yeah.
I've got through so many AGM Explorer batteries. I've gone through all the caravan batteries, and they're heavy. They're heavy. Life Pro 4 weighs nothing. You can lift 100 AH battery up with one hand. The equivalent, Paula, of an AGM for like an E53, for instance, on a Life Pro 4 weight would be under 10 kilograms. They're amazing. They really are. But I hate lithium ion. But it's the way to go. It's the way to go. But I'll have a look into that because I've already got the battery. I've already got an inverter. Just need the machine. Anyway, Luke's joined us. Evening, Luke.
Hi, Luke.
All right. Oh, your screen was frozen again. Right. Daniel's not on yet, and William's not on. You're fine, mate. Okay.
Yeah.
We do have, I believe, Emma's his sister, and I think that's Sister Emma, and we have his mum on. It says hi, Luke.
Hi, Paul.
And then they're coming to the police station museum as well. Are you there, Paul? You are. Brilliant stuff.
Am I okay to go then? You allowing me to go?
Yeah, I think we can put up with you, mate. You know.
What about the robot? Shall I bring the robot?
Yeah, why not, mate? Why not? Why not? Yeah,
We have an interactive robot, Tim.
Wow. What's her name?
Robbie.
Robbie
the robot.
Very original. Very original.
Well, only us old people would know that, wouldn't they?
Oh, yeah.
Luke, do you know who Robbie the robot is, Luke?
Yeah, I know that is, yeah.
No way.
Yeah.
Is it on TV at night then, Luke?
No, I thought it was your robot.
you know who's Stigger the Dumpies?
Yeah.
No, who is it?
It's that caveman who lives in that cave, and that little boy come to see him in the cave.
No, wrong. It's Paul's hairstylist.
Who's now dead?
Emma says, who is Robbie? Robbie is a robot, Emma, which Paul has. And
that's my daughter.
Is that your daughter?
Hello, Emma.
Oh, right.
It's her birthday today. Happy birthday,
Emma. It's like Family Fortunes, isn't it? This.
Yeah. I'm getting mixed up because Paul has got a daughter called Emma as well. So, right. Yeah. Can you warn me next time, please, mate? Anyway, I'm lost in translation, mate.
It's an interactive robot that is motion activated, so it's gesture controlled. So if you go up to it, it backs away from you. If you walk away, it follows you.
Wow.
So when spirit play with it, it actually follows them around the room and backs away. And we took it to the Bugle Hotel, where one of Darren's events, and it was the first time I've used it before at the barn, and it worked quite well at the barn theatre. So we took it to one of Darren's events at the Bugle, brilliant place, and it literally started off one side of the hall, went right across the hall, up onto the carpet, and then out one of the doors, virtually out of the doors. It's quite impressive when spirit realise it's not going to harm them. You sit there and watch it, and it goes around in circles. And when spirit approach it, it goes uh-oh and starts spinning.
Wow.
It's such a clever piece of equipment, and yet it's a cheap bit, but visually it's quite stunning visually when you start to see it, because it stands up on it, balances on its own, and then if you go towards it, it backs off, it walks away from you.
I hate to say this, but when it goes, it sounds really cute. And
Darren, is that your
Shut up.
feminine side? Is that your feminine side coming through?
when I yes. Uh, you'd
Hi,
have to be
William.
a bit
Welcome
brilliant.
aboard.
Thank you
Welcome
so
on.
much for joining us, mate. Fantastic
Welcome.
to have you here. Really, thank you. I've
Yeah.
always
Next time
had
we're out.
when I was a kid, right? I couldn't if I accidentally broke a toy. Oh my god, right? And it's like I had this action man, right? And his name was Tim, and they all had right. And
Did he have gripping hands?
yeah, and everything. Yeah, notice Paul goes straight for the grippy hands.
Yeah. Yeah.
And
Oh, yeah.
his limbs, you know how they got a bit loose when they got older. His arms wouldn't stay up. So he was sick to me. So I made him a hospital bed and everything. And I just, any toys that broke or anything like that broke my heart, honestly. And that's why I'm like I am with the cars and things now. You know what I mean? I just like these people that go and like spend thousands of pounds on their cars, then spin them around the streets and crash them into walls or whatever and do burnouts. I don't see the point. Do you know what I mean? It's like you spent money on that. You love it. Yeah. But there you go. Yeah. Or them BMWs that activate the amber lights on the front. You know the ones I mean, yeah? That come, yeah. They normally pull out behind Range Rovers on the A3 on the way back from Waverley Abbey and stuff. And yeah, it's something to do with heated tobacco. I'm sure it is. Anyway. Anyway, who's messaging me now? Oh no.
Now, you're going to hand over to Tim then?
I am going to hand over to Tim, a late handover.
He'll get used to it. He'll get used to it.
That's just.
You probably will fall asleep right before I finish.
I'm sure we will, mate. I'm sure we will. You do your bit, whatever you want to explain.
Yeah, well, I haven't spoke to anybody about this except my family because, like you say, you get ridiculed and laughed at, but it started. It was around 1972, and I was 13, and 13. It was summertime, and my mum and dad split up. And of course, I was devastated. And I've got a sister. She was younger than me. She was about 10. And anyway, my mum and a new partner decided to go north up to Malton up in North Yorkshire, which is just outside York, if I remember right. And they moved into this little tiny little caravan, and it was in a farmyard. And there was another caravan there. I only visited the caravan once, and yeah, that would have been about September time. Anyway, they obviously started talking to the people in the other caravan, and they were heavily into the paranormal, which my mum was. She was spiritualist, my mum. And anyway, they went over there, and I learned, because I was only 13 and I was a young 13. I was quite immature, I think, then. And anyway, they did the spirit board. I believe that they got a phone number come up. And remember, it's over 50 years ago now, so some of it's a bit vague, but I remember the important stuff in it. A phone number came up, and after various conversations, they discovered that when they found it, that it was an estate agent letting a flat. And this flat was in a really old house in York. I can't remember exactly where in York, but it was in York. Anyway, they moved in. Now, roll forward to Boxing Day. Yeah, Boxing Day. And it was decided that my sister would come down to stay with my dad, and I would go up there for Boxing Day up till New Year. We can stay till New Year. So my dad took me up there, and all was well. her new partner wasn't there at the time, but Mum started telling me about all these things that would happen in this house, and things would disappear and turn up in different places, such like that. Now, I don't know if this was relevant, but from the moment I got there, I started getting a pain behind my eye. Since I've learned since that these things can cause pain now and again, these spirits, some of them. Anyway, I got this pain behind my eye, which was gradually getting worse and worse as the day went on. And Mum was telling me about these things going on, like the clock going backwards, although it's an electric clock, which is supposedly to be impossible, but it did. I didn't see any of this. Anyway, that evening, I went for a bath, and Mum had put the heater on, the blower heater in. I remember this vividly. She put the blower heater on in the bathroom. No shower, just proper bath. Nice, steam was there. I got in the bath. Lovely. But within 2 minutes, that bath was stone cold. The water was stone cold. The heater had gone off. I didn't pay a lot of attention to it. I just thought, oh, that's cold quick. Got out and went into the living room. When I was really hurting at this point. Now, it was a smallish living room. It's only got one bedroom, so I was to sleep. They've got a single bed in the corner of the room. It had been snowing all day. Lots of snow. The other end of the room, I would say the room was about 16 foot by 12 foot, something like that. There was a big sash window. So you can picture that on the end. Windows at that end. Anyway, I go to sleep in the single bed. The stepfather, he's scribbling away at the bureau, writing some letters while I'm laying in bed there. Anyway, I fell asleep. In the middle of the night, my eye's so bad, I wake up, I roll over towards the window, and there's an armchair, big winged armchair there. And I look at the window and I see a shape of a head. Somebody sitting in this chair. I can't see them, it's silhouette. It's really light outside, so you can picture the room's black. I look over and I say, Mum, my eyes, I thought it was my mum. I said, Mum, my eyes really hurting. There's no answer. And then I see the head tilt like that. I said, Mum, there's no answer. There's still no answer. Mum, my eyes still hurting. Still no answer. So I get up and turn the light on and there's nobody there. Now, to me, I've been used to Hammer House and all that, the Hammer films, and I was terrified. I'd seen somebody sitting in that chair. I screamed as loud as I could for my mum to come running in. But it was about 6 in the morning, so she didn't go back to bed, we stayed up. And then I decided, no, I want to go home. I didn't like this at all. This place is flat. So eventually they agreed to take me back to Northampton. And funnily enough, on the journey back, my eyes started to stop hurting. Yeah. And nothing else happened. About a few months later, it was summer, Mum and my stepfather, they moved back to Blisworth, which is back in Northamptonshire, into a mobile home. Now, I went over there one day. I'm like, do you remember the cassette tapes? Like the old cassette tapes, they kept them in little vinyl cases. They were out shopping, and I found this cassette. On one of the cassettes, it got Rose, number 1, and it when it's 10. 1 to 10. Anyway, they weren't there, so I put this cassette into the machine, and this woman started speaking in this. He didn't twig at the time, but this woman started speaking in this broad Irish accent, really strong Southern Ireland accent. But I knew it was my mother. I could tell by the tone of the voice that it was my mum. Obviously, I didn't take much notice, but I knew her name was Rose, and they were offering on. Now, I heard Mum and stepdad coming back, so I turned the machine off. And anyway, years later, I'm grown up now, I found out that Mum had been hypnotised and regressed back to previous lives, and I don't know who by. I thought it might have been my stepfather, but I don't think it was. I don't think he could do that. Anyway, I learned years later. I spoke to my mum probably 20 years after that. I was grown up. She didn't like to talk about it a lot, but her grandmother, my great grandmother, they came across from Cork, and she can regress back to right back to a previous life, and her name's Rose, and then she ran a tea shop in Banbury, and they, mum and stepdad, they went out, they found where the tea shop was, and they even found this Rose's grave in the local cemetery there. So,
Blimey.
not a lot was said after that. They didn't like to talk about it to me. Although I did, my Emma, who's just on my daughter, my mum talked more to her about it. Emma's sort of things don't bother her like that. She's quite a sensitive girl, but things like that don't bother her. So, but I've been used to Hammer House of Horrors. I thought all this paranormal stuff was quite evil, you know. Although nothing really bad happened. But that was that story basically. But yeah.
Yeah, mate. Yeah, I mean the past life regression thing is absolutely amazing. I know cases of this 100% on. I mean, you can research it online, different cases through the ages, and it's something that I'm ready to get into now and regress some people because I am a hypnotist and a hypnotherapist.
Right.
So that's one thing I want to do big time. As far as spirits, things like that, I mean, you thought it was your mum, so you weren't scared of it. And like you say,
no, I wasn't frightened.
You know what? The only fear we've got of them is the unknown. What are they, mate?
Yeah.
99% of them are dead people, and most people wouldn't want to harm you. You know, a bit like us or whatever. If we come back, you know, I don't want to harm any. Well, there's a few out there, but you know,
I think I'm more scared of the living than I am the dead.
That's right. That's what I'm very more scared of. That's what my daughter said actually. She's what she's saying. I can't see the screen.
Don't forget what Nan said to me.
Oh yeah. Not long ago actually. I didn't know this till recently. I told Emma that I was going to come and have a chat with you guys, and she told me a little bit more that happened. That my mum talked to her more about this, and when they found the grave and they were leaving Banbury, my stepfather became quite ill as he was driving down the road. Mum always carried a rosary at that time, and she put it on his back, and he felt better. I think that was about right, isn't it, Emma? I think that's more or less it, but I don't know about it's like my the thing with my eye. I don't know if that was anything to do with it or coincidental, or then my eye was really hurting at the back of my eyes.
It could be the built-up pressure on your receptors, because you often find when you're out in the field, if there's paranormal energy around you, spirit energy around you, you'll start getting a headache. It affects us all slightly different. It could be the build-up behind your eyes. I mean, have you had it before? Have you had it again? Is it a
no?
Well, it's a bit coincidental to me that I don't know about anybody else, but it was the same sort of time frame. Yeah. She said, "Never go back." She wouldn't say more. So,
yeah.
The thing is, after a paranormal investigation, and Simon will tell you, sometimes you come out of there with a thumping headache because you've used so much of your energy. They call it a paranormal headache, don't they? And you come out of there, you think, God, you know, your head's pounding, isn't it, Simon? And you think to yourself, God, dear. And you've had a good night, so you've had good full-on contact, but you come out of there and think, oh my God. you know, you're actually worn out. And Sunday morning, you don't want to get up. You just think, oh,
No, I mean, it affects my missus a lot because she's always got a headache. But you know,
we're not going there, are we?
um,
But I know that after I do one, the next day I'm absolutely drained,
Yeah,
absolutely drained. And I think, you know, like when you're hosting, you're literally on your feet. And I think this is what people don't realise, is that you are you're responsible for everyone's happiness, and you're on your feet for 6 hours plus the hour or so you've been there before everyone arrives, setting up, plus the drive into the venue, and the driving home again, and the tidying up afterwards, and that. And it's really, really draining, but very rewarding. You know, with everybody saying, "Oh, you know, look at this photo, or look what I've taken, or I've got this, I've got that." So, but yeah, I just feel the next day really, really, really drained, really drained.
you get a full on contact, you know, you have a really busy night with activity going on. You know, you come out of there, don't you, and you think, oh my God, you know, you're hyped up with adrenaline or whatever because everything's happened what you want it to happen. But then suddenly you've got to come down from that, haven't you?
Yeah, I know. I get home and, you know, I get home to like 3, half 3 in the morning, if I'm lucky, and I just can't sleep. I just can't sleep. I just feel
No,
so
that's
excited
what it
and feel
gets
like
down.
pumped with what's been happening and what you've got in
Yeah,
the that you just can't sleep afterwards. You're just like, you
it's
know,
difficult.
yeah, at least an hour afterwards, I'm still sort of like, and then I sort of like, I think, oh, let me just go for the photo I took last night, and I'm like, no, don't do it. Get some sleep. Do it in the morning. Oh, let me just have a look at that video. No, go to sleep.
I sometimes do that with EVPs. When I'm getting ready for bed, I play them
And you're like,
and I
no,
listen to
go
it.
to bed.
And it's just like you're saying, Simon, it's getting to that point where you can't shut down
Yeah. And
because
then
you,
it's
you think
night
you've
and
just
the birds are singing, and you're like, I've lost it now.
yeah. Then suddenly you start to nod, then you think, oh, I've got to stop this. It's 4 o'clock in the morning, sun's coming up.
I know that feeling very well.
so what other experiences have you had then, Tim? I mean, what's your
I've had lots of things go on. The most recent one was actually me and my wife and Emma, who you've just seen on there. We just started actually investigating. But I actually posted. I don't know if you've seen it, but I posted on your Facebook group today where glass moved on the table. Did you see that?
Yeah, I saw
I
that in
think
the
so,
pub.
mate, yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah,
well, that's our local pub, which is a couple of miles away from mine. We haven't been for a long time, and then it just, you know how these things pop up on your Facebook feed, don't they?
Yeah.
The pub's Facebook come up, and I saw this pipe move over. I said to Karen, "Oh, we best go over and have a look." So we went over there and had a chat to the landlord. They knew they'd recently taken it over, and they was telling us all about it and how this glass. Well, it happens a lot in different areas, all downstairs. There's nothing upstairs, apparently, but downstairs there is. The glasses will just move. And I said, well, you know, you try to debunk these things, don't you? I said, well, are the tables level? You know, would vibrate people walking past it? He said, no. If you look at the CCTV, that the beer on the top, that's a full pint. It's not moving. It's just going across the table. And they put a spirit level on the table. They put a 2p piece on its edge, so it didn't roll, it didn't move. But quite often people are hanging onto their glasses to stop them sliding off these tables.
Well,
Anyway,
many moons ago, I
yeah,
was
sorry.
in a pub. Many moons ago, I was in a pub, and it was, gosh, it was 25 years ago. I was in this pub and
You went to a pub, Julia? Sorry.
Julia, that's underage drinking.
Yeah.
You're not allowed.
Yeah,
It's
no.
underage drinking.
5 years ago. Yeah. And I went into this pub and there was 3 drinks. We just bought them from the bar. We put them in the middle of the table. It was a round table. Put the 3 drinks in the middle of the table, and we just sat down, just chatting. There was me and a couple of friends. One of the friends went up to the bar, so it's just me and my friend. We're just sitting there chatting. I had a glass of Coke, and that's the truth. I had a glass of Coke, and it just literally came like this, straight towards me, like
Wow.
that. And I put my hands up like that, leant back and put my hands up because I thought, I don't want this drink going all over me. So my reaction was just to lean back and put my hand at the edge of the table, so it didn't like fall on me, but it literally like sort of like that. It was that fast, and I just caught it out the corner of my eye, leant back, put my hand up and it stopped right on the edge of the table. And we put all the drinks in the middle. There's only 3 drinks. We put the 3 drinks back in the middle. Tried to debunk it. Is the table wet? No. Is the bottom glass wet? No.
Yeah, because they can slide on the water, can't they?
Yeah. Everything was bone dry. There was no sort of like no water. The glasses weren't warm. They weren't wet. And we're just like, and this was way before I started the paranormal, the ghost hunting and everything like that. But I had heard that it used to be a farm owned by this gentleman called Mr. Pinkerton. And, we think, it must have been something that he was playing about with. But, we tried to debunk it. We couldn't. And all the other glasses, the other 2 glasses just say exactly where they were. Mine just went straight towards me that fast. And I was, oh. So I can well believe that. I can believe that.
Yeah, well, what happened next was we went home. We didn't take no equipment with us or anything like that. We went home, and then that night, Karen, my wife, she had this really vivid dream about this pub.
Wow.
And she said that she dreamt about this young girl. She was about 15. We was visiting the pub in this dream, me and my wife. And there was this young girl in there, and she was about 15, and her name was Mary. Her name was Mary. And so Karen was talking to her, and Karen asked, "Is it you pushing these glasses around?" And she said, "No, it's my dad. He just does that for a bit of attention. He thinks it's quite funny to watch glass falling off the tables." And so her name was Mary, and what was she? She was a.
She worked in the pub.
She just works as cleaning up and stuff like a scullery.
And she was sitting next to the cup down in the end of the and I asked her why she said this.
Yeah.
Because at home she was one of my 8 children, and it wasn't
So it's very vivid. Did you hear that?
Slightly, yes.
Yeah. So she tends to be around this area by the fire because they have real fires in it. Although I found that strange. Why would a spirit want to be by the fire? I don't know. Right. Anyway, we thought we'd go up there again. Because obviously it was the daytime. We went up about lunchtime. We took a couple of cat balls up with us because obviously we didn't want to sit there with all meters out and what have you. And these cat balls were quite active, especially when you said Mary twice, didn't you?
I didn't fight her until
You mentioned.
I said, "Mary, are you here?" The cat ball went.
As soon as Karen said Mary, the cat ball went off big time, twice.
That's a good indicator.
Yeah, so it's I don't know about dreams and this, but this is what this happened last weekend. So we're going to have words with the landlord about it. But you don't want to be ridiculed, do you, either? So I don't know.
talk about
Yeah, I think they were open
it.
schools
She
back
said that she felt something downstairs.
then.
She said that the left-hand side of the cupboard was cold on the right-hand side. She said, but there's not anything upstairs, so there doesn't seem to be any spirits upstairs.
Yeah. So that's quite interesting.
Yeah, it's interesting, isn't it?
Yeah.
Especially get confirmation from the ball flashing. That's good
So she thinks
confirmation, isn't it?
her father is the one who's pushing the glasses about.
She said, because he thinks it's funny.
Thinks it's
But
funny.
also, if you look at the history of the pubs or coaching houses as they would have been in them days, they would have been the centre of the village. So you'd have had like a
Yeah.
post office, a morgue, a police station,
That's
a
right.
pub. They were the centre of the village, weren't they? So
Yeah.
getting activity in there doesn't surprise me, to be honest with you. Because you can imagine. I don't know how old it is, 17th century,
It's
18th century.
14th century.
So it's, if you go back in the history, you'll probably find it was the centre of the village and the village was built
Mm.
around the pub, wasn't it, basically? So you can
Yeah.
imagine, a coaching house if you imagine a coaching house would have been on a main route into London or Northampton or, further up.
Mm.
So you'd have had all sorts of smugglers and all sorts of people going in and out of them all the time. So you can understand why they would still be there, wouldn't you? Because they probably had a good time drinking and, and they only return because they've had a good time there, really, isn't it?
Yeah. It started off as somebody's house.
Okay.
Selling beer from the house, from his lounge.
But in them days, yeah, they would have been,
Mm.
like that, started off like that. And then it would have been a police station, and then a courthouse, then a public house. And then, they
Yeah, that's
become
right.
a
Yeah.
morgues and all sorts, didn't they? Morgues for storing bodies. And, so they have a massive amount. That's why, they say the cellars are so active because that's where they
Yeah,
would have
yeah.
stored the bodies,
They'd cooler down there, wouldn't it, I suppose?
Yeah, because it's cold on the
Yeah.
ground. They would have stored the dead bodies there anyway. So, you always find activity in a cellar in a pub is more than in the pub itself, but it's interesting to see the beer glass move across the table,
Yeah.
and people looking at it, aren't they? They're all looking at it, which is
I was
sort of,
thinking, if you try to push a glass on the table that's full to the brim with beer, it's almost impossible without spilling it.
yeah, because
If
you
you
see the
try to
level
push it with
move,
your
wouldn't you?
hands.
Because where you see the level of the beer
Yeah.
move as you're trying to force it. When you watch that,
Yeah.
it doesn't actually, the level stays flat, doesn't it? It just moves.
Exactly. And it even
That's
comes back slightly the other way for a minute.
Yeah,
Just for a split
yeah.
That's
second.
normally a sign of a poltergeist. If
Yeah.
it's same as with anything that's actually picked up and thrown, you'll notice some things get knocked off and they just smash. Other
Yeah.
things, such as really delicate items, will sort of fall. I mean, I saw once just after my mum passed, we had a mantelpiece. Didn't have a chimney. My mum always wanted a chimney. She was old school, but we used to have them fake mantelpieces with the electric fires in. Do you remember?
Oh,
them?
yeah.
So
I
mum would
know.
always have one of them to compensate for not having a chimney. And she used to keep the house immaculate. She'd have all her ornaments on top, little cannons and little trinkets and whatever. We'd go to one area, she'd buy this souvenir, put it on, polish it. And anyway, after she'd gone, and this would have been 1990, I'll never forget coming in one day to the lounge, and that lounge had an atmosphere, and it just went absolutely cold. And I turned for some reason and looked at the mantelpiece, and literally one by one, as if somebody had walked across, all the items just got knocked off, and really delicate china ornaments and things like that landed on the floor, but they didn't break. Little glasses
Wow.
on the floor didn't break. And you'll find when you get like a pint that doesn't spill, that's the same thing. It's a poltergeist. I've seen glasses fall out from behind bars and bottles of spirits They don't break. It's a poltergeist. They're not throwing them; they're actually holding them as they're going down.
Yeah, so they don't break.
Yeah. So
I did have a little poltergeist experience. I was doing a bit. I'm retired now, but I did do a little bit of caretaking in church, like moving tables away and so. But it's a brand new church, not an old church. You know, it's only been a year old, and it was on the first floor, and I was putting these tables away, and I heard this bump 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 behind me, like a tap, and it was a wooden floor, and I looked round. They were going to show our age again now. Do you remember the power balls you used to get? The little rubber power balls.
the what?
It was bouncing on it. I looked round and this power ball was bouncing along the floor.
Oh yeah. I know them. Yeah.
God, you remember them? They nearly went
Yeah.
boing. And it was. I was in the middle. This was a massive room, like 50 foot by 50 foot. And I was in the middle of the room, just moving the last table, and this power ball was bump, 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 and it stopped. Where it come from, I don't know, but there it was. Yeah,
Wow.
in a brand new church.
But you think spirit are clever, aren't they? Really, to manipulate and do that, you know, and it's non-threatening, isn't it? You know, you just,
I wasn't scared at all. I didn't
No.
feel because I think the reason why I've got into it before, I've always been interested, is because I've been frightened, to be honest with you. But
they're not there to frighten you, are they?
no, I know now.
A lot of it is to make contact for you to
Yeah,
you know, recognise them and say hi, Dad, or hi, Mum, or whoever,
Yeah,
Auntie,
yeah.
Granny, Nan, whoever it may be. It's just that case that they want someone to say hello, you know,
yeah,
because where we are here is in Surrey, in the bungalow we're in. This is quite haunted, you know. And
right.
yesterday I walked in. My partner was here and her daughter and the kids. I came into the lounge. It's a bungalow, and I could smell cigarette smoke as soon as I walked through the door. And I said to them
Wow.
two, "Can you smell it?" And they went, "No." And I could smell like I just walked through. Somebody had wafted a cigarette. Now nobody smokes here, no one, other than the lady that passed away here before my partner got this place. The lady was quite a heavy smoker, so often we smell smoke in here. You know, neither of us smoke. None of the neighbours smoke, so it's not wafting along and sort of being dragged in by the vents.
No,
But
it's
yesterday
a
it was
very
really
distinct
strong.
smell, isn't it?
It
Very
is, yeah.
distinct.
Oh, Paul, can I just ask you something, mate?
Yes,
You know that stop smoking session I did with you at the weekend? How's it going?
not good.
I'm joking.
It didn't work, mate. Didn't work. We'll have to go back to the drawing board again.
What I will
No.
say about smoke and things like that, yeah, lavender smoke, especially cigar and tobacco smoke, pipe
Oh,
tobacco,
yeah.
they're the most pungent smells in nature that we've got. So spirits will conjure them up to let us know that they're there. I'm not
But in
saying
the olden,
it's any old spirit. I'm just saying
Yeah.
they will do that, yeah.
but in the olden days, a lot of their perfume were made up with them powerful smells, weren't they? You know, you'd always
Yeah.
recognise your nan's perfume, wouldn't you, or your
What's that,
perfume that your
mothballs?
mum used. Pardon?
Mothballs.
Yeah, but you would recognise it, wouldn't you?
Oh,
You know,
yeah.
you think, oh, my nan used. It's like my dad used to smoke Golden Virginia, you know, roll ups.
Yeah.
And I often think sometimes I can smell that. So it's a slightly different smell and roll ups. And sometimes I often think, oh, it smells like my dad's roll up. It could be, you know, I don't know. It could be just a memory link, couldn't it? You know, but other than
It came from when we were in the olden days that we linked these smells with our nan or our mum or our dad, because if you think back not that long ago, you didn't have that many different types of perfume. I mean, nowadays you've got Kylie Minogue, she's got one, you've got Armani, you've got CK. I mean, Madonna's even got perfume out. I mean, who wants
that's
to smell?
That's quite worrying that you know about perfume, Darren. That's quite worrying.
Yeah, but I want to smell like Madonna, you know. I mean, if I want fish and chips, I'll go buy fish and chips. But anyway, you know, but
That's
you know,
quite worrying.
back those days, yeah, back those days. Did you see Madonna's new year resolution, by the way?
No, now what?
Yep, she's going to keep her knickers on all year. Yeah.
Remember, this is live.
No, just as soon as she can find where she left them last. Anyway,
And you've got him hosting your show, Daniel. Oh my God!
I know. I'm regretting it every second.
I told you his jokes
And
were bad, didn't I?
I'm like, Darren, you better not tell any of them at the event.
I haven't told any jokes yet. What are you on about?
Ones you could say over the air, you mean?
Yeah. Anyway, Madonna made a song about me.
Oh,
Yeah.
Go on then,
You've
voice
heard
it.
Anyway, what was I gonna bloody right. These perfume whiffs, yeah. When we didn't have that many
No, I know what song it was,
Daniel.
Darren. It was Borderline.
Oh, dear.
very good, very good.
Yeah.
Sorry,
No,
I
who
just
did that
finished
one?
with
That was
Madonna's
Black
quote. Yeah,
Eyed
Borderline,
Peas.
wasn't it?
Yeah, it's gonna be a real good night. Oh yeah, I got a feeling.
Oh my! You
Yeah.
ain't gonna sing at this Daniel's thing, are you, Darren? You're gonna bang out some tunes.
Tunes, Paul. You're getting near the mark here. Right,
Tunes, not Junes, not June.
Do you remember
Tunes.
the advert in the 80s?
Paul, please do not encourage him.
Why? I love it. Oh, he's brilliant, mate. When you get him going, he's brilliant.
Oh yeah. Oh, Emma, that's a great festival. Have you been?
Yeah,
Anyway,
cringe.
make a band for the night. Oh, that sounds a bit ominous. Anyway,
What would you call that band?
yeah.
No.
I think we could do a bit of a concert in the evening.
Daniel's the youngest one here, and he's just the only one on here that's got onto my double-sided joke. Double-sided, think about it. Anyway,
Oh, Daniel, what have you done?
I know. I'm so sorry, Paul.
we associated because we only had a few perfumes, yeah.
Yeah,
We associated them with our loved one because they wore lavender, yeah, or they like lavender, or that, yeah. So therefore, we went, it's Auntie Betty come back or whatever. When in all honesty, it could be anything. However, when you normally get in that instance pipe tobacco because it is the most pungent. When you get like across like a Golden Virginia, then that's a bit more specific to you. Yeah, that's more likely to be that spirit saying to you.
Yeah. Because you think in the olden days they would have had lavender bags as well, wouldn't they? Hanging around in wardrobes and things like that. So you tend to pick up that.
Can you see Luke in a dress?
No, I can't even see Luke in the daylight. So how am I going to see him in a dress?
although it would be a very pretty sight to see Darren in a dress.
No,
Really?
he wouldn't.
Yeah.
No, he wouldn't. Darren might turn up in his mankini now. Now you've done it.
It's
It
a
is
deal. That's called a virtual handshake. It's done. Anyway,
Oh, you've done it now, Daniel. Yeah, so they would have used them lavender bags in wardrobes and things like that, wouldn't they, in the olden days?
Yeah.
So maybe that's why you associate that smell, because you would have smelled it in the room if you'd stayed with your nan overnight or whatever. So maybe that's the association you get with that smell. Not so much them wearing it; it was what you smell in that area when you were staying at your nan's or things like that. So maybe that's how you associate that smell.
Yeah. I mean, it could be many things, but I think that's more the likely case. But then you can't explain it, can you? When these pungent smells come around your house, and there's not anything that smells like that actually in your house at the time. It comes and it goes.
Yeah.
How? I mean, many years ago, I used to go to karate 5 nights a week, and so did my mate Trevor. And I was religious. I loved it. It was just like my. But I wish I could now. But anyway, we were both sort of like black belts at Pat O'Keefe's club, and Pat O'Keefe was the best. And he did Tuesday and Thursday. And for some reason, this Thursday, I didn't want to go. And I said to Dad, I don't think I'm going to go today, Dad. I would have been 19 years of age. And he went, oh, he says, but you love it. I said, yeah, something's telling me. Anyway, last minute, I grabbed my bag with my gi and my pads and everything in it, whacked it in the boot of the car, drove down to Park Leisure Centre, had a good session, training session, got back in the car, and were driving behind Trev, and he was in his mate's and his missus's MG Metro. We got onto this hill called Hambo Hill, and I overtook him. It's a 30 limit, and I was doing about 50. And this voice at the top, you've got a little hump and a turn to the left. There's an old oak tree. And this voice in my head said, slow down, slow down. I did. And I slowed down to about 30. And all of a sudden, the car just started spinning, a really slow motion. And I could see myself heading towards these bushes sideways. And I hit it. And you can actually see the shape of my head and my right shoulder and body in the A-frame of the car.
Wow.
Yeah, it was 30 mile an hour impact sideways onto pure metal, mate. And anyway, I got out, and the skid marks, you could see them when the car had just gone all four wheels sideways, basically, well, three wheels sideways. It was later proven by a university for the insurance that the rear stub axle had sheared. And what they did is they rotation welded them, and sometimes you got a little bit of air in there, and it crystallized, and it was a weak brake, and that's what happened. Now the police still tried to do me for excessive speed and things like that. My mate went, no, some reason he slowed down right at the top. I saw his brake lights come on, and the people that were at the side of the road at 10:30 at night, out of the blue, turned around and went, no, he wasn't speeding. All of a sudden, the car just went sideways. So the police left. And anyway, to this day, I still sometimes don't listen to my own voice. And I keep saying I should listen. I should listen. And I mean, Julie will tell you many a time we have a conversation or whatever, or I'll ring her up out of the blue, and it may be a person, it may be an event, it may be a property, it may be something like the weather. And over the last 3 years or something, I've been pretty accurate, Julia, haven't I?
I think the most recent one was when we were at Wookie Hole. I think there was also something you said very recently, which I was like, oh my God, yeah, that's true. But I think at Wookie Hole, when you said that one of our guides would guide helpers on the night that worked at Wookie Hole, Darren said that they were drawn there for a reason, and because they had a connection. And I can't say, but at the end of the night, we found out what that connection was, and I was like, oh my God, that is so accurate. So accurate. And you know, I've been to Wookie Hole before. They change the staff all the time. I don't believe Darren's done a ghost hunt there before, and it was just so accurate that I was like, how did you know that? But little things. There's some little things, you know, and I'm sort of like, oh yeah, that's really, yeah, that is true. Yeah, or we find out it's true. But yeah, some spooky.
I can see in the way sometimes like a future unfolding. I can also remote read in a way certain things and elements. And I thought, oh, Gemma's on. Evening, Gemma. Good to see you. Good you joined us. Yeah.
Hello, Gemma.
And it's hard to explain. I can always tell if people may have been discussing a certain thing, which includes myself or others, and to an element what they've discussed about and what plans they've got and what positive or negatives have come out of that. It's yeah. Oh, thanks, Gemma. I've sometimes I've said stuff to Julia about events coming up and things like that, and I've been pretty right, haven't I, on certain things that have unfolded in our futures and things like that, and
Yeah.
so
Especially when you sort of like get sort of like you just get some sort of like feeling about things and you know what way it's going to go, or but yeah, very accurate on some of the things that you told me, and I'm like, yeah, just go with it, and it turns out to be true. So yeah, very interesting.
I don't know how I do it, and I don't know how it works. It's something I've had all my life. It's got stronger and stronger and stronger as I've got older. It's just weird. It really is weird. But one thing I always find around me, right, and I think Paul will definitely agree on this. Anybody that investigates with me suddenly starts getting more abilities to the paranormal, to spirits. They start to maybe get more photographs of stuff, maybe see more stuff, maybe understand more stuff. Or like in Luke's case, he's come over from being, easily pushed into the circle or pulled around or feeling sick to being quite level-headed on the field, haven't you, Luke?
Yeah.
Whereas I think Paul, when I said to him to do something at Waverley Abbey a few months back, he's seeing a lot more now and sensing a lot more.
Yeah.
So
yeah, it's Catherine.
It's I don't know if it's people around me that are helping others and whatever, because I've always got help in nature anyway, in everything in life. And if I can help you with your car or a problem you've got on your mind or spirits. So I don't know. Gemma's just put on fantastic, Gemma. I'm glad you do. That's the idea, and that's what I say to everybody that comes on Power Nation events. If you want any advice or you want any help, thanks, Paula. Thank you. Please just ask me. Yeah, come and ask me. If I haven't got time at that specific moment in time, I'm more than happy make time later on in the evening or come and meet you separately and take you out separately. I'll help anybody in life if I can point you in the right direction, if I can change your tire for you, if I can save you a bit of money on something, whatever. Yeah. It's just my nature. If somebody needs to sit down and talk it out, I can't talk to myself, but I can to other people. It's weird. It's weird. But that's good because people who want to come on a paranormal generally want to see more. They want to feel more. And the more negative I can get rid of, and the more positive I can give, better for them, better for me.
I think the scary thing, going back to what Tim said about it sort of like being a little bit unnerving, a bit scary, it does tend to be. I think it's the unknown. Like I've been doing it about 20 years now, and yeah, at first you're like, oh, God, that's doing that. How's that doing that? But I think it's once you start to understand and start to like sort of understand what they're trying to do, and I still sit on the fence a lot. And yeah, I think it's just an understanding of how they're trying to
Yeah.
communicate with you, and that's their way. You know, sometimes we can go to the same location like Ridley time and time again. Every time, you can't say when we go, this is going to happen. We're going to get lots of cat ball, lots of EMF. We're going to get this happening. Every time is totally different. It's like a brand new event, same place but a brand new event, and you know we've got
It's the
different
same book
people.
with different writing, isn't it?
Yeah, different stuff happens. You can't guarantee anything. Can't guarantee anything. You know, we don't make anything up.
Nothing's
fake
made
it.
up. Nothing is manufactured with any
If
of us.
nothing
I
happens,
watched the
nothing
I
happens.
I
We
watched
can
the
move on.
table tipping at Waverley. I think Luke was doing it, and somebody else. The table
Yeah.
tipping on your Facebook page. That's
Yeah.
amazing.
So some of
In
it is.
Waverley Abbey.
Some of it is absolutely amazing. I mean,
Yeah.
I stand there, and sometimes you'll get someone come along. They don't last long in the group, and if they do, I'll pull them to the side, and they'll start
Yeah.
make, but they don't last long. But I'm very critical. I'm the one with the camera. I'm watching you all the time. You got to remember that. And
Yeah.
I can see. Sometimes you think, yeah, they've done that, yeah, but then all of a sudden it goes up and you see their fingers shoot forward, and you think maybe I was wrong. Do you know what I mean? Because how can they make it go up if their hands are going forwards and it's going down their side? It doesn't make sense.
No.
I think the way that you view them videos for the first time, I think when we're out in the field, it's the same for us witnessing it. Would that be fair to everyone?
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah, definitely.
Some things are quite hard to believe and understand.
Yeah, and I mean, even though you've seen the table going round on one leg and falling right over, then picking itself up again before, and maybe it's nothing as strong as that moment in time, you're still in awe that it's happening. You're like,
Yeah.
wow, yeah. Gemma's or whoever, I don't know who's put this up, but I think this is an absolutely fantastic sentence that sums it up. And I hate to agree with you 100% on it. They think it's like the telly.
Thing is, when you watch them programs, though, if you watch at the beginning, it always says for entertainment purposes only. So if you sat for an hour and nothing happened, you wouldn't watch it next week, would you? So there's always something going to happen, and it's always something scary. And when you do have contact, most times it's not scary, is it? You just think, "Oh my God, what just happened? What was that bang, or what was that knock, or what was the ball, or what was that voice?" You're not sort of, sometimes it can be a bit scary when the atmosphere suddenly stops and there's that silence and the room goes darker and darker and darker, doesn't it? And you think something's coming.
I know when we want to go, and I think I remember this night, Gemma. I think I was actually nipping backwards and forwards to a few of you and saying, "Oh, I think we should go in a minute," and then going to someone else and saying the same. So everybody got it in their own minds. But I don't like to be the one that says, "Oh, let's go here" or whatever. I'll always turn around and say, "Wherever you guys want to go, yeah." And anyway, we went, and that night I could sense something really dark, but I didn't want to say to the team because I don't want to spook people. Because once you spook people, I believe that if it's dark, it thrives off of your fear, and it gets bigger from the fear and the manifestation, and that's when you do start getting scares. And some people, not all, but maybe 40% of people, if they got that scare, they may not want to go back, or they may not want to come with the team again. Plus the fact, it's my job to be protective of these people when they're over there. Because if I can sense them more than others do, I'm not saying I do, but if I sense something, like when we did the human pendulum the other night, I knew instantly, and that's one question I never ever ask is, you were never born, were you? You'll never hear me say that on a human pendulum, but I did right at the very beginning because I could sense it wasn't anything that had lived. I sensed that, yeah. But thanks, Paula. Paula's turning to be our latest paranormal junkie, Julia, I think. I did warn you, Paula.
It's good
It
to
was,
hear. It's very addictive. It's a
yes,
very
it is.
addictive hobby.
It's addictive, isn't
And you know, saying that, like, you know, Gemma, you know, she doesn't think she does, but she feels a lot of things, and she's quite sensitive. And there's been a few times on events where she's felt stuff, and you know, it's proven to be right. And we've been, last time I went to Wimmery, we went down into the cellar, just me and Gemma. It was towards the end of the evening. I said, come on, let's go. And I was in front, Jem was behind me. She's following me down in the cellar. And all the way down the steps into the cellar, she goes, I don't like it in here. I've got to go. I went, no, because I want to get something on film. I always want to get something on film. I want to get that ghost photo. I want to get that film of a ghost. And I was, no, come on, go down. Let's go down. And we got to the bottom where the cellar was. And I was like panning my phone round, just panning it round. And she went, I can't stay in here. I've got to go. I went, no, just stay for a few more minutes. She goes, no, I've got to go. So I was like, oh, well, I'm not staying in here on my own. So I went sort of, feeling a little bit disappointed because I thought, oh, you know, it would have been nice to like just stay down there for a bit longer. And anyway, next day I sent her the video. I said, look, this is a video. I said, look, there's nothing down there, nothing to be scared of, blah, blah, blah. I sent her the video across. And that evening she came back and she said, Julia, watch it again. And I was like, okay. She said, look at here, look there. And there was this man standing up against the wall, and he's like leant forward, and then he started walking forward. And we know that there was nothing. There's no one down there, no one. And he's as clear as day. And yes, you know, scared. I don't think I could go down that cell on my own. Not after that. And I'm quite hard.
So sometime
She's quite sensitive. She's more sensitive than what you think she is.
right, well, we're going to send you down there with a camera.
Not my own. I can't do it. Not after what I've seen.
Well, that's Wimmering Manor for you all over, though. Have you heard of Wimmering Manor? Wimmering Manor, Tim?
No, I haven't.
Right, have a look up in it, mate. Do some reading. It's some good reading for here.
Yeah.
Wimmering Manor is the oldest house in Portsmouth. It's in Posham. It's opposite a church linked by a tunnel, supposedly. It's actually in the Doomsday Book, and it is documented to be home to at least 16 resident spirits, ghosts.
Wow.
Yeah, wow. It's you can go in there as any haunted place one evening, and it's dead. It's empty. And then all of a sudden, it's completely the opposite. And it's just absolutely terrifying. I mean, there's no want for a better term. It's terrifying. I've been to Wimmering Manor a number of times now. Once I virtually got nothing and I got bored. And the other 4 or 5 times, I've been absolutely on edge. What's going to happen next? Not scared, fearful what's going to happen next. Because objects move around, they get thrown on their own. Only 2 years ago, we had a chair thrown across the room, which set the security alarms off.
Yes, I remember that one.
And you'll see it on YouTube, Tim, Wimmering Manor, on my channel. All the alarms went off, and wow, it literally, there was a guy sitting on it, and he got up, and at first we tried to say, oh, you got up and you banged it or something, flipped it, but then we estimated the force it would require, the time frame between him getting up and it being moved. And no, there was absolute. Plus the fact the way it set the security alarms off was just absolutely unbelievable. Yeah.
I think I was upstairs at the time, and I ran down to the middle floor to see what the alarm was. So I think I just missed it.
You did. You just missed it. You just missed it.
Yeah.
We were in the centre room on the first floor, and those that want to come back, we should be going back pretty shortly, shouldn't we? Yeah. Are we allowed to say? Are we?
Yeah, we're allowed to say. It's
Yeah.
just not on the website yet. So I've still
Right,
got to put it on the
guys,
website.
yeah. Wimmering Manor, 18th of May, is it?
18th, yeah, I think it's the 18th of May.
18th of May, guys. Yeah. If
We've only
you've
got
been there before,
20
you're going to be
20
gagging for your tickets. Gagging for your tickets, yeah. If you haven't been there before, wow, what an experience Wimmering Manor is going to be for you, yeah.
It's so famously haunted.
Oh,
I've been going there for a few years now, and I can honestly say it never disappoints. That cellar ghost was just like, if anybody wants to see footage of the ghost in the cellar, just message Darren or message myself, and I'm more than happy to send it across. It's just, it's I'm not that clever. I can't mess about with video editing and do anything like that. So, but I'm more than willing to share it with anybody that wants to see it.
it's fantastic, absolutely fantastic.
Yeah.
And what I'll have to do is I'll have to cut that down and put it on YouTube and put a link down. Yeah. Well, I'll sort it out with your dad, Emma, and great. I'm sure you'll have the chance to come out with us all at some point, because I know that we're all going to meet up at some point. I've got that feeling in the water, as my dad used to say. But I'll get it across to you. If you can send it to me again, Julia, and I'll get it across.
Yes, sure.
How can I mean, I knew when I first moved down to Portsmouth, just a quick one. I think I told these guys before, but I was a single man who used to drink a lot. I worked in sales. I was out till 10 o'clock at night working, and I would finish work and pubs were shut. So nightclub it was. And I had a deal with a nightclub called Time and Envy, which is now gone, on the seafront, where if I paid a £5 to get in, I got a couple of free drinks. Because my way of doing it, well, what's the point in paying to get in for a couple of hours? Yeah, because all I want to do is drink. I don't want anything else. So they did me a deal. And anyway, there was one of the first female door staff started working. Gina, her name is, at Time and Envy. And Time and Envy, the toilets in Time are down the stairs. Two clubs. One's over 25s, but they're linked in between, so you can walk between the two. Yeah. The toilets, men, gents, and ladies downstairs in Time. Anyway, used to get a lot of people that didn't really get on, had an argument in the night, and all the male bouncers were laughing at Gina. Yeah. She comes from Newcastle. Why are you? I have a right rough and ready. What's a woman gonna do? Yeah, what use? She's gonna run as soon as there's a fight. Well, she'd been there a couple of weeks, and I was standing at the top talking to one of the doormen because I knew me well, and there was a fight broke out down the bottom, and she just jumped from the top down the bottom, grabbed these two men literally by the scruff of the neck, and dragged them out the door on her own. She didn't need any help. I mean, she was just not scared. Anyway, after a Time and Envy went or whatever, I didn't see her again until Chichester Lakeside Holiday Park, where we had a seasonal pitch with our van on it. They had door staff for the weekends, and she comes up to me, this woman. She went, "You're Big Darren, aren't you?" I said, "Yes." Anyway, she went, "You used to drink down the seafront." And I went, "How?" She went, "It's Gina." I went, "Oh, Jesus." I said, "How are you doing, love?" She went, "Aye." She's like, she went, anyway, a few weeks later, she went, "Oh, you do these ghost hunting things?" I went, "Yeah." She went, "Have you been to that Wimmering Manor?" I says, "Yeah, a few times." She went, Or she went, oh, when you go back in there. Anyway, she told me this story of how her boss had actually hated static. Most guards hate static because it's boring. Yeah, you're just sitting in one place for 12 hours. So her boss says to her, oh, will you go and do a house for me in Cosham? I'll give you time and a half. And she went, yeah, no problem. Yeah. Anyway, she's gone up and handed over at 6 in the evening. Yeah. And the guard says, oh, well, in the morning, there'll be somebody at the gate at 10 to 6 to hand over or whatever and debrief and brief. Okay, so she's gone in, walked round, and nothing to it. Yeah. And boss has said to her, right, she went, what am I going to do about my dogs for 12 hours? She got 3 dogs, yeah, big dogs. He said, oh, you can take them in with you. Don't worry. It's all enclosed grounds, all tied up, because it's Women Manor Trust. It's all locked off, yeah, gated off. All right, then I'll do it time enough. She takes the dogs in and whatever. She went absolutely bugger all. She had a couple of bangs, but nothing happened. Anyway, she says 3 o'clock in the morning, she's in the kitchen and she hears this bang upstairs. So she, Christ, somebody's gone in. The dogs heard it a lot. So she's gone running up there, fearless, yeah. Nobody's there. So she's checked the whole floors and whatever. She's come back down and carried on making a cup of soup and a cup of tea and whatever. And then all of a sudden she's heard the table sliding across the floor and banging upstairs. So she's gone upstairs and she's like got a torch on. It's all dimly lit in there. She's shining it all around or whatever. And there's nobody there. And all of a sudden this table just flies towards her. She says, I shit myself, yeah? She said, all the doors started slamming at the same time. She heard voices get out, this wind and everything. She said she ran out of that house and her dogs did as well. Locked herself in her car and that was it for the rest of the night until handover in the morning. And she didn't say anything because she didn't want to seem stupid. So she hands over the keys and whatever. She went, oh no, nothing happened, left. Anyway, the boss rings her up and he went, will he go there again for the night? Not a chance, right? Why not? There's people in there somewhere playing around. He went, no. He went, it's the wind playing tricks on your mind. He says, I'll pay you double time. So she goes back for a second night. She says, 3 o'clock in the morning, 3:05, all kicked off again. She said she saw figures, people chasing her, snarling at her. She said, I've gone out of that house. She said, I actually moved my car outside of the ground to lock the gate behind me. She says the dogs were absolutely petrified. And they were like red setters and whatever. Do you know what I mean? So, they weren't wimps. And she said, I will not go back in that house. It is that haunted.
I remember we were there in the middle where you said that chair moved. We had a nun. I call her the angry nun. She didn't used to like anyone like saying like, oh, for God's sake, or anything like that, or Jesus Christ, or anything like that. And the more you said that, the more the glass went berserk.
Yeah, if you say Jesus Christ, it will go rotten.
Yeah, didn't like that. We had the chair downstairs in the dining room. That was like rocking. Another time, it was a weird one. It was right at the start of the evening. It was a summer's evening. Still light outside. Some people were coming through. At that time, we used the very front door, not the side entrance. Some people came in the front door. I think it's a group of 4, another guy on his own. They came through the front entrance, and the 4 people in front, never been with me before. Anyway, they look up the stairs to the right of them. There's like a little balcony, and there's like I think she said there was like a lady, a couple of men, a couple of kids, all dressed in sort of like, I wouldn't say Victorian, but old style clothing. And anyway, she came in. She's, their little group sat down in the base room. Everything was fine. I went over, sort of introduced myself and that. And she looked at me a bit weird. And then she sort of said, oh, she goes, when everyone had arrived, she goes, excuse me. And I went over and I said, yeah. She goes, is this everybody? And I went, yeah. I said, yeah, everyone's here now. And she went, yes, but is this everybody in the building? I said, well, no, there's the on-site caretaker. I said, but he's in an office at the front. I said, he's just like making sure everything, in case there's any problems, he's sitting at the front in his office. I said, but no, everyone's here. And she said, did they have an event on before you arrived? Were they finishing any sort of event or anything? I said, well, no. I said, when we arrived, I said there was just 4 staff and the caretaker. I said, we just did like a quick look around the building, health and safety type thing. I said, but no, we were the only ones on site. She said, oh, they didn't have like an open day or anything like that with people dressed up in like old-fashioned clothes or anything. I went, no, it's completely empty. And she said that when they came in, they looked upstairs and there was these like people sort of like looking over the balcony down at them. And I
Isn't
said,
it amazing, though? Isn't it
and
amazing?
I'm like, no. I said, did anyone take a picture? And they're like, no. And I'm like, damn.
But that is
Damn,
Wimmering Manor, guys. I believe there are 22 tickets. Is that correct?
There are
22 tickets, and there's about 60 people going to want them, right? So it should go pretty damn quick. Yeah.
It normally sells out really fast, doesn't it? It normally sells out quite fast.
Yeah. The sooner you get in, the better. And well, we can't guarantee you activity on the night. I can't guarantee that I'm going to contact anything on the night or anybody, but we can give you the best chance of contact, and that's go to somewhere where we've been before and we've had a lot. You've been to Wimmering, have you, Paul? Don't miss it, mate. If you can do it, don't miss it. Yeah.
You've got the girls, or
bring the caravan down. Just park it outside. Whatever you have to do. I mean, if the worst comes to the worst or whatever, I'm sure I could sort out putting the dog in the car and Amy looks after the girls here or something for you, mate. Can't see a problem there. Do you know what I mean? So, if the girls sort of come down with you, and whatever, if that helps you out, mate, we can sort something out, can't we, Angela? Something like that. Yeah. So that's a double yes. Yeah.
Okay. Thank you.
All right. No worries, mate. So 22 tickets. Price is going to be finalised because you haven't been there a few years. That's Judy's department. I just go when I'm told, and do what I can to help you guys. Your daughter has posted something interesting here. Sorry, I've only just got round to it. I did see it there. It's just in full swing or whatever. I always cover all topics posted. Be interesting. Can you remember what road it was on, where it was about? There are quite a few haunted roads, areas in Portsmouth. I know a couple with men. Mainly it's women. There's one with a woman with a child. That's near Havant Asdas. But if you can remember virtually where it is, I might know who it is. That's an interesting one. But it can be anywhere. It can be anywhere. This is what I say to people. When it's 9 times out of 10, a full body apparition, was it dual carriageway or single carriageway? And can you remember when it was near Petersfield? Because if it's near Petersfield, there was a car accident there. And I believe there was a hitchhiker killed at the side of the old A3. He still haunts the road. And he has been known to stand in the middle of the road and cars pass right through him. So perhaps your partner may remember. And we do this every single week, 8 o'clock. We're on for over an hour, as you can tell. We try to run it for an hour. It never really works because we enjoy it. What more can I say? So ask Martin. I take it that's your daughter's partner.
Yeah, that's it.
Yeah. Well, he better, otherwise your dad's going to beat it out of him. Go on, Tim.
He's 6'4". I ain't going to touch him.
Just give him a anyway. If you can remember, it'd be fantastic. But you know, we do this every week. I can't put it better than that. We enjoy it so much.
Yes, great.
It's just the reason I said it for Mondays is because we all have I don't know busy lives, 9 till 5, Monday till Fridays. You come back on a Monday, especially if you're after a holiday or something. Monday evening, you're sat there, especially this time of year. You're going, oh God, I've got another 4 days left. Maybe on the 5th day, we're going on an investigation, yeah? So we can talk about what we did the week before on the Saturday and the Saturday forthcoming. And that's why I set it to Mondays, just to lighten the evenings up, really. And each and every view really does mean a lot to us. It really does. Every comment, every interaction, having yourself on, Tim. If you want to come on, if you want to come on each week, mate, and
would to.
just talk a load of nonsense on the paranormal, mate, yeah? Because I don't think there's such thing as an expert in the paranormal. I think we're all learners, and we're learning each and every day. And the more we learn, the closer we become to our goals. Therefore, there can be no right or wrong answer, or right or wrong question, or right or wrong comment. As long as everybody's kind, nice, friendly. That's he says he slept since then. How long ago was it, Emma? That'd be interesting. Evening, Bill.
Hi, Bill. Welcome.
Bill.
Bill has his podcast as well. Good to see you, mate. Tim knows, obviously, I don't have to, whatever. Paul, Bill, yeah. Julia, and Luke, yeah. And George Robinson. Hello from the USA.
Hi, George. Welcome.
What part of the USA are you in, mate? You know, quite a bit bigger than the UK, buddy. You know, the UK is sort of like that, and you know, it's 10 years ago. 10 years ago. Okay, Kentucky. Brilliant.
I've got a nephew who lives in Kentucky. I've been
Have
there.
you?
Yeah. He said if we go over there into Kentucky, because I've been over there because he got married out there, and he said if we go out there, then a friend of his knows the woman that runs Ghost Hunter at Waverley Mill Asylum. Have you heard it? Waverley Hills Asylum.
Yes.
She runs events there.
So he said,
he said if you wanted to go, we'd let him know. Fly out to Kentucky because we're thinking of going to Canada next year for holiday to see Jen's brother. So we're wondering.
Miles from Waverley Hills.
Yeah, in Kentucky. So we would go thinking of maybe flying into Kentucky, maybe go do that Waverley Hills Sanatorium, which has got to be done, isn't it? Really, if you're there,
how can you not?
You've got to do it, and then fly out of there into Canada to see Jen's brother. So that's what we were just. Because Jen quite fancies going to New Orleans because that's very haunted as well.
Yeah,
sounds amazing.
Try and do something like that, like bounce the trip, and then end up in Canada because he lives in London, in Ontario, in Canada, and she ain't seen him for how many years? 20 odd years. So she really wants to get out and see him. So we wondered whether we could bounce into Kentucky or New Orleans and do a ghost hunt there or whatever. You know, I'd like to go to Waverley Hills.
Yeah, there's a brilliant one there. You know, in a couple of years' time, if you're interested in a sanitarium, if nothing else, you guys can shake hands. You know, meet each other. That's all it's about. Yeah. The Alien Farm Siege. I've heard a little bit about this, but again, the farther you go away from somewhere, how can I put it?
Never heard of that one.
I've heard about this. I have heard about all covered up.
Alien Farms Sledge in Kentucky. Always been intrigued by the alien. Waverley has become a tourist attraction. So it's probably sport it then, isn't it? Really.
Yeah, yeah.
I'd still, if we had the chance to do it, I would still go and do it.
Well, especially
Yeah.
after you've been all that way. I mean,
Yeah,
you've got to get in there, haven't you? You know,
yeah.
you've got to get in there.
But that's what we hope to do anyway. Go there or New Orleans, which is really haunted, isn't it?
Well, yeah. I mean, it's old, isn't it? Anywhere where and a lot of traumatic energy. I mean, going back to that Neil Oliver, what he was saying in one of his latest videos, because Neil Oliver, the Coast guy, is a very, very interesting guy, but he's very into his paranormal. And one of his latest ones, he was on about this lady that was at a party or something like that, and she overheard this couple speaking about their house where they lived, and that it was actually haunted. And it turned out it was the house where she used to live when she was a young lady and married. And she pricked her ears up at this, and they went, "Oh yeah, it's really haunted." So she walked over. She went, "Do you live at such and such?" She went, "Yeah." She went, "I used to live there." She went, "It wasn't haunted when I was living there. Nothing happened." She said, "Well, we hear taps and bangs and whatever," but she said one of the most prominent parts of the haunting is you hear banging against the mantelpiece on the tiles, blood appears, and it vanishes in front of your eyes. And she suddenly realized, right, that when she lived at the house, she split up with her husband, or husband ran away with another woman. And she was in such a state, she used to bang her head against the tile work on the mantelpiece until it bled. And then when she realized she cut herself because she couldn't deal with it, she used to wipe the blood off the wall. So she actually realized that she was the ghost.
Wow.
Amazing, isn't it?
Yeah.
Amazing, really, isn't it?
George Robinson, you need to go to Bobby.
Oh, Bobby Mackey's, yeah. That's a very famous bar, isn't it? Bobby Mackey's. It's like I don't know whether it's country and western or that type of place, but I've seen it. Oh, what have I seen? It might have been Ghost Adventures or something like that. Bill Mackey's bar.
Good one, Mark. I'm sure you'll get there, mate.
Yeah.
But have a weeping Madonna in Only Fools and Horses. I saw that the other night. No.
You're going to be a millionaire.
Yeah.
Amityville might be quite good.
You've posted that on the chat then, Julia, yeah?
Yes, if anyone wants to have a little look, it's quite interesting.
That is the link to the, for Emma as well, to the Wimmering Manor Cellar Ghost. The link is up on YouTube. So if you want to go onto that link, it will take you onto the Power Nation YouTube and you can watch it there. It's a country music bar.
That's right, yeah. Very famous one.
Yeah.
Been a few murders there as well.
Oh yeah, Cecil Hotel, that's another one.
Yeah, I've heard that one.
I want to do the Winchester House.
Yeah.
That's the one.
That's it. Have you seen the film about that?
No.
Because there's a film with, is it Helen Mirren, I think, Simon, isn't it? Is it Helen Mirren that plays the Winchester widow? Really interesting film.
Really interested in is Gettysburg battlefields.
Yeah.
And I would really like, that's on my hit list. Gettysburg battlefield. I watch a lot on YouTube about them. And also the Queen Mary, which is docked at Long
That's
Beach.
right, yeah.
That's another on my hit list.
That Gettysburg, they see the soldiers on the side of the road, didn't they? I've seen a few people.
Gettysburg
yeah.
Brilliant. Whether it's been doctored or not, you don't know, but You know,
Well, yeah, true.
some of the videos are pretty good. I enjoy them, and it's things like, oh, you just Google it and watch it on YouTube and make up your own mind. But some of them are quite interesting, very intriguing.
Yeah. People take pictures and they're driving along and they see a soldier on the side of the road just wandering or just standing there. I've seen a few like that. Like you say, you don't know whether it's been tampered with, but some of the evidence you think, well, that, you know, what else can it be? But yeah, what an interesting place.
I think so. Yeah.
Well, there's some fantastic places out there. I think, you know, when you're a paranormal investigator, Perryville Battlefield. That's an interesting one.
In Kentucky. No.
Yeah.
I haven't come across that one. I'll have to have a look on YouTube.
You know what's on the bucket list, didn't you? Hampton Court or Tower of London.
Yeah. Tower of London.
I have a ghost photo from both of those locations. Hampton Court, I took a photo and there's this man. I don't know who he is. I'd have to dig them out. And Tower of London, I believe I've got a photo of Lady Jane Grey.
All right.
I am pretty sure that, yeah.
My dad took me to Hampton Court when I was a kid. I was about 10 years old. And I don't know, but you used to be able to hire a little boat and whatever on the Thames. Yeah, it was about £6 at the time. Anyway, my dad hired one and we got on it and we got out into the middle of the Thames. And there's some big boats down that Thames, let me tell you. When you're on a little narrow 4-seater boat, they're big boats, yeah? Anyway, this bloody boat broke down. And I'm like, what? Now, my dad couldn't swim, I could, but I'm looking up at these boats and I'm like, wow, this boat's broken down. Well, I just broke into tears and I went into panic mode. I cried, honestly, yeah. My dad's going, it's okay, you can't swim, you're going to drown. And he's like, no, I'm not, the man's coming over with another boat, yeah. My dad was trying to start it and everything with the poor car. Oh, God, that was terrifying, that was. Now that, Mark, bang into, mate, bang into.
Wow.
That'd be a place, wouldn't it? Skinwalker Ranch as well.
Yes.
That'd be a place, wouldn't it? UFO sightings and all sorts there, don't they?
Yeah. And then I'm not going to try and say that when I'm drunk, Emma. It's like Billy Connolly when he bought that house, wasn't it? I forget where it was, but he called it Grunt Funkin' Hall. Do you remember that? Yeah. The local said, "Don't try and pronounce it." Pissed.
You can imagine, can't you?
Oh, yeah. I like Billy Connolly. Yeah. I take it Mark's done this one. And evening, Anita. Great
Hi,
to
Anita.
have you here again. Great to have you. Virginia,
Welcome.
Virginia.
Welcome aboard.
Yeah, thanks so much for joining us. You know, it's great when you've got a show like this because you're interacting with people all over the world. You're getting to see each other's faces, ideology, ideas. You can throw stuff around, and everybody inevitably at the end of the day is going to hopefully become to know each other, and just reaches out there a little bit because years ago all we had was our own little circle, wasn't it, to go investigating with. Now we've got this internet and StreamYard and audiences like this. You know, it opens up a whole new world to us. It really does. You know, I can't see myself getting over to the States. You know, the motorbike and whatever. But plus the fact the battery goes flat on the Range Rover after a week and a half. And
Never say never.
no, I suppose I can always plug it in.
Yeah. They do have electricity out there, mate. You're all right.
No, I mean like leaving the car when I come back. Yeah, I mean last Range Rover we had used more electric than an electric car, and that was a 4.6 V8. But it was always plugged in at the side of the road, honestly. And then I bought another. Anyway, but there you go. There you go. Now, I would love to get over to the States, maybe in a few years' time. You never know. You never know. At the minute, it's a long distant memory or wish, but in a few years' time, not so much.
Yeah.
You know, so maybe sell a child on eBay. I don't know which one.
You got a few there you can sell off, couldn't you?
Easily. Sell a dog, yeah. Sell a German Shepherd. Should we sell a dog? Hey?
One careful owner.
Yeah. The dog
Never raced or rallied.
On its seat, on the arm, with its cushion, go, oh yes, I'm settled in for the night, me, yeah. Yeah, I've got a big bucket list, Paula. A really big bucket list. But you know, at the minute, the bucket's being taken away a little bit. But there you go. It should come back just as suits. Position up, Molly. Yeah. Molly, you've got a new home. Yeah, you're off. You're off. Yep, you're going, Malt. You're off again. Yeah. 40 kilogram of blonde shepherd. And it's like it won't even eat without being able to see where you are, you know. It goes gets a mouthful of its food, brings it through to the lounge, eats it. Oh, it's still there, nips back, gets another mouthful, comes back. Yeah, it's still there then.
Poppy does that.
Our dog does that. She does that. Yeah. She'll grab a mouthful and then look around, make sure you're around, and then she'll carry on and then do it again. She'll look around again and then do it again.
Yeah, but
strange, isn't it?
Is your dog 40 kilograms?
What?
No.
There you go. You see what I mean? I mean, it's a German Shepherd. What the hell's going on? It's an evil devil dog. Yes, you. We're talking about you. Yes.
Yeah. Well, our dog thinks she's human. That's the trouble.
Oh, yeah. Last night she drank out my glass by the side of the bed.
She drinks out. You got water by the side of the bed. She'll have a drink of that. She won't go to a bowl and drink. She has to drink out of a glass. Seriously? Really? She's like a human. We call her the human dog.
Molly's very sensitive to spirits as well. Very sensitive.
Yeah, Pops is like that. I'd be sitting here if Jen's out, and suddenly she'll bolt upright and look at the door into the lounge, and I think, oh, what? And I hear something, and she's like fixed to the door, like someone's going to walk through, and then she sort of settles down again slowly. So when she does that, you often think, oh, someone's going out on the hallway.
They know.
Yeah.
They know.
Was it last night?
What's that?
You come in there. We were in there.
Yeah.
Smoke.
Yeah, I was telling about the smoke I smelt last night when we walked in here.
Yeah.
It was a very distinctive smoke, but Jen and Steph, her daughter, couldn't smell it.
No.
But it's just like you've walked through someone who puffed a load of smoke, you know.
I smelt it at other times, though, haven't
But
I?
we do smell it other times here.
Strange, isn't it?
It's very strange, yeah.
Strange.
You know, just recently we've been seeing shadow figures here, so we're not sure what's.
A lot here. We've been seeing a lot of shadow figures here.
It just seems recently. I'm not sure why.
Yeah.
What's going on, but every corner of your eye. It was the other night. We both looked at each other. It's like someone stuck their head round the door. We both saw it in a split second together.
Back to forward.
Yeah. It's weird, isn't it?
Yeah.
What's happening? Why they suddenly appear?
I think Paul and Justin's had quite a few of them as well.
Right.
I think Paul.
Do you get them, Simon, where you are?
From time to time. I know that one of my daughters, sometimes she's a couple of rooms away and she can hear. She says it sounds like I've called her name, but I haven't. So that's a bit weird. But yeah, we have some strange things going on. Yeah, and at the corner of your eye, you sort of like think, oh, is that somebody? And it's not. But yeah, we got lots of strange things.
I had
It
that.
comes in
The
waves.
other
It comes in waves. Sometimes
yeah,
you don't get anything for ages, but yeah.
I had that. The garages, the last few garages I worked at, I was there late one night and clearly heard Paul, and I turned around and said, "What?" There was nobody there. I'm thinking, who's calling me? So I went in because there was only me and someone else in the building, and it was like when I worked at Robinson Day in Morden, and they were all laughing about, oh, I bet this is because it dates back to about 1940, the garage, but it's obviously brought into the modern age. So it's quite an old garage, and it used to belong to Roots, which were like the very early Humbers and all of that type of thing. Anyway, we were there. They were like larking about, and they said, "Oh, you do that paranormal rubbish stuff, don't you?" So I said, "Well, paranormal, yeah, but not rubbish stuff, like people do." They said, "Oh, do you reckon you could get? Is there something here?" And I said, "I could sense there's two men here." And they're like, "Oh, right, yeah." I said, "Yeah," and I sort of got their names, and I went to the service manager. I said, "Do you know these two men's names?" And he went, "How do you know them then?" Bearing in mind, I'd worked at the garage for about 20 years by that time. He said, "How do you know them names?" And our service manager at that time had been there for like 30 odd years, So he said, "Well, how do you know them names?" He said, "Because one of them died in a car of a heart attack in 1963, and the other one died. He was a workshop cleaner, and he died in the workshop on the floor, and the names were right." So a group of the guys out the front desk said, "Oh, will you stay late one night and see if you can get these men to come through?" I said, "But you can't be disrespectful. If you want to do it, we'll do it." So they said, "Yeah." I said, "But it's not a game. This is not the take the mick time. This is a proper stuff. And if you disrespect it, then I'm done. I'm out. I'm gone. I walk off." So we stood there one night. It was three of us, myself and the two like customer advisors on the front desk. So we're in the middle of the workshop. Most of the people were gone. They were right out the other side of the building. There was only about 2 or 3 people in the building. So we're standing in the middle of the workshop, and I'm saying, if there's any spirits here, can you come and talk to us or whatever, blah, 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 blah. And you know how it is. It sort of waits it doesn't happen straight away. You wait. They're going, "Well, I told you there was nothing here." I said, "Just wait." And I knew that these men were there. I could feel them. And then we were standing by a van. And I said, "Can you make a noise? Can you knock on something?" And then it was like bang, bang on the van. Like someone had knocked on the van. So they went, "Who was that? Who did that? It's got to be one of us." I said, "Well, it ain't me because I'm in the middle of the workshop with you two." And when you go and you know yourself, when you're in an investigation or doing something like that, when things happen, do you notice how close people become to you? So you start off quite wide apart, and then suddenly things happen, and they start to get close to you, like you're going to save them if it all kicks off, because they just like suddenly congregate around you because they think you're a safe haven. Anyway, so I could now feel these two blokes quite close to me, and I said, "Spirit, if you're here, can you rattle one of the doors?" And we had a big shutter door. You can hear bang, 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 bang on the door. And they're like, "No, that's it. We're done. They were so scared. So I said, "Okay, thank you, Spirit, for helping with us. Paid them the respect." And then we all went home. The following afternoon, they came in, but then they came in with a salesman, like 5 or 6 salesmen. They said, "Oh, we hear you had a really active night last night." Yeah. It was good. They said it was more than good. It frightened us. He said, "Do you think you could be able to do it tonight?" I said, "Look, it's not a freak show. It's not a jolly. This is quite serious stuff, and you have to be respectful to spirit." Yeah. We'll be all right. So they gathered up. Like we asked the CEO, "Is it all right to do it?" He said, "Yeah, as long as you turn everything off when you go late." And I put the alarms back on. So about 6:30, 7:15. It's pitch dark then, but sort of winter time. Anyway, so we're calling out. I'm doing the calling out. "Is there anybody spirits here? Can you come back and rattle the door?" And sure enough, bang, 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 the shutter door rattled. Then the bang, bang, bang on the van. And then suddenly it's gone from like having lots of air gaps to about 8 blokes huddled behind me. I could feel them breathing on my neck. So I said, "Spirit, can you walk around us? Can you just come closer?" They go, "No, not too close. Don't get too close, And then, unbeknown to me, one of them was recording on his phone, and you could actually hear footsteps walking around us. And they're like, "Oh my God." And for a split second, at the end of the workshop is where the cleaning bay used to be, and it's a big white wall. There was this massive flash of light, and of course everybody looked at the wall, and there was these two black shadows in the wall. You could see these two black shadows against the wall. And I immediately turned around and said, "Who's took a picture?" And nobody had their phone out. It was in the pocket. So these two spirits showed themselves on the wall. But the funniest thing is, they all said, "No, no, that's enough. Let's go. Get out, get out, get out." And just as we were sort of staying, I said, "No, no, just calm down. It'll be fine. Just be respectful." I said, Can you move an airline? And we have airlines on reels that you pull down from the ceiling, and it was cha-ching, 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 and the airline came down by the side of us. And they're like, "No, no, 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 no," and it suddenly it reeled back up again. So anyway, this was on the Friday night. So we went home, and then came back in the Monday, and they called a meeting. They said, "Right, everybody who was here on a Friday night, we need you in the board office for a meeting." I'm thinking, "Uh-oh, what's happened here then?" So apparently, on the early hours of 3 o'clock on the Sunday morning, a lot of the neighbours that were joined sort of to the back of the garage were woken up by banging and shouting and people hollering and lights going on and off in the workshop. And they wanted to know who was working in the workshop at 3 o'clock in the morning and shouting and banging and switching the lights on and off the workshop. They phoned the police. The police went there and obviously couldn't find anybody. So they thought maybe it was a break-in. And the neighbours said, "You can't have people working in there. We saw shadows and we saw people and heard shouting, and the lights were going on and off all night till about 3 till 4." One lady said it was so loud you could hear it in their house and woke them all up in the road. But they wanted to know what had happened on the Friday night that caused the early hours of Sunday morning, and the whole workshop being woken up by the whole neighbourhood being woken up by supposedly somebody working at 3 o'clock in the morning with the banging, the shouting. They said they saw what looked like people working away in there, and the lights going on and off of the workshop and all sorts of. So they banned us from doing any more after that. Because we were planning to go back to do one really late at night because it was very, very active there at night. A lot of salesmen would stay there till 7, 8 o'clock at night, but they wouldn't stay on their own. After this, they had to have 2 or 3 of them stay. Like the workshop, if you were working late, it had to be 2 or 3 of you because everybody was too scared to stay. But it was a hell of an active workshop. It was a brilliant night.
Well, guys, I'm going to end the live now. We'll have our 5 minutes, obviously, at the end of the live, because we have done sort of like a couple of hours, and we've all got lives, and so have people on the live as well. So I think I can safely say from all of us, another fantastic evening live stream. Whether you've joined us through a link channel, through YouTube, or one of our Facebook channels, thank you so much for joining us. It really is appreciated. It will be left on recorded on the channels. Justin, happy vaping. He always throws me. Look at that. Look again. Look. Now he's laughing. I can hear him. Anyway, he's bugger. Thanks for joining us. It will be left on record. Give us a thumbs up, a like, please, guys, if you're on there. It's much appreciated. Night, Mark. Thanks for joining us.
Night, Mark. Thank you.
Much appreciated, mate, you on here. Also, valued advice from Mark and so forth, and input. Known Mark for a number of years. He's a very good friend. And love having him on events as well. I hope to see you soon, mate. If you do have any questions, fire them away at us. We're all on Facebook. If you've got a question, you want to come along to an event, say our next one is sold out, but there are other events that have still got tickets. We hopefully will get to Shepton Mallet at the end of the year this time, in September. Fantastic venue, huge as well. The next one that will be released, which will go quick, is Win-Win Manor. I can assure you that will go quick. If you don't want to be disappointed, get in there quick. Any questions, fire away at us. That's what we're here for. If you want to come on an investigation, even better. Great to see. If you've got a haunted location, thank you, Christine. Much appreciated. That's what
Thank
we're
you,
here
Christine.
Thank you.
for. Thank you.
And a big thanks to Tim as well for your story as well, Tim. That was interesting.
Yeah, thanks. Yeah.
Yeah. Now that's always an interesting person. These are the kind of people, if you've got somewhere where you think or whatever you're close by, give us a shout, mate. And always happy to make more friends. That's what we're here for. That's why we're Unified Paranormal Investigators, all under one umbrella. It's working. Let's put it that way. It's really working. So spread the power, love. Anyway, thanks for watching. Anybody got anything else they want to say?
No. Thanks for watching, though. And thanks for your comments again. Much appreciated.
Yeah, thanks everybody.
And thanks, Tim,
Yeah,
for your
cheers.
interesting
Cheers.
story.
And Luke?
Well, Luke, are you still alive there?
Yeah.
I'm glad we got a word in now, Luke. Now you stop talking.
Yeah.
It's difficult to squeeze a word in there, wasn't it?
Yeah.
And Luke's ghost in the background in tracksuit trousers. How are you?
He's sleeping right now.
Sleeping at this time of night,
How dare she go to sleep at this time of the day?
especially in their new tracksuits.
Yeah.
What's that all about?
He's asleep.
Well,
You
yeah,
sure
next.
You
Yeah.
haven't been watching that film Psycho, have you?
No.
Luke, turn the camera around. Let's have a look.
He just woke
Yeah,
up now. I think.
Come on, Luke. Come on, Luke. Come on.
Be
Luke.
brave, Luke. Be brave, man.
Do it, Luke. Come on.
Woke up now. I think.
Oh, Luke.
Oh,
What are you like?
no, chef. I can't hear her.
What, like the creaking door at Waverley, you mean?
Is that the door? That door, was that you?
Anyway,
It's not awake.
no.
You haven't got a new patio in, have you, Luke?
No.
Anyway, guys, thanks so much for watching. I'm going to end the stream there. Much appreciated. Same place, same time next week. Come and join us. You want to be on the show? You've got something to tell us, like Tim tonight, something experience to share. We'd love to hear from you. Otherwise, have a great week. The rest of your week. If you've got an investigation, have a great investigation at the weekend. And we will see you here next week.